From Fox News, accused CEO assassin Luigi Mangione indicted on federal charges. So this, I'm not sure what the charges would be in New York State, but I don't think New York State has the death penalty. But this,
I believe it's on hold.
Oh, what in New York State is on hold?
Yeah, I believe it's been on hold for a long time, but they used to have it. I'm pretty sure. I don't know that it's been totally outlawed.
Okay, so we have this is actually, you got to join Fox News. Do you have the key to get in here? Let's see.
Who subscribes to Fox News?
I thought that we did.
No. Yuck.
Wait, so why are they charging him with federal charges?
I think it's so that way they can give him the death penalty.
Hopefully.
So let's see. From the AP, federal prosecutors seek death penalty for Luigi Mangione and United Healthcare CEO killing. New York, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi said Tuesday that she has directed prosecutors to seek the death penalty against Luigi Mangione in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, following through on the president's campaign promise to vigorously pursue capital punishment. It is the first time the Justice Department has sought to bring the death penalty since President Donald Trump returned to office in January with a vow to resume federal executions after they were halted under the previous administration. Luigi Mangione's murder of Brian Thompson, an innocent man and father of 2 young children, was a premeditated, cold-blooded assassination that shocked America, Bondi said in a statement. She described Thompson's killing as an act of political violence. Mangione, a 26-year-old Ivy League graduate from a prominent Maryland real estate family, faces separate federal and state murder charges after authorities say he gunned down Thompson, 50, outside a Manhattan hotel on December 4th as the executive arrived for United Healthcare's annual investor conference. So generally, I am against the death penalty because I think of how well the DMV performs, and that's kind of what I expect from the government all the time.
I used to feel that way, but now...
And I know Maggie is against the death penalty as a L word. I'm not going to say it, but what, do you have thoughts on this development here?
Yeah, I mean, from a principled position, I'm against the death penalty, but also for Luigi Mangione, I think it's a horrible idea to turn him into a martyr. His approval rate.
By the time he gets killed, though, he won't be martyr status by that.
I don't know.
After all the appeals process and stuff.
I think it's gonna keep ratcheting up, especially if they actually go through with it. It's shocking and disturbing how many people my age are all in on Luigi, but they are.
He's like the new Mumia Abu Jamal or Leonard Peltier. You know, but like there are these guys who end up committing federal crimes, who commit federal crimes, and then are just lionized by the left, like Mumia or, you know, Peltier, who was a killer also. But I think also Biden put a freeze on the death penalty. Yeah. And Trump said, nah, we're done with that freeze. I'm entirely 100% thoroughly opposed to capital punishment because...
Am I the only one that's not? I used to feel that way.
Because I'm Christian, and so I just like...
I used to think that like, okay, fine, we can't, like, we got to be consistent. No abortions, we have to care about life. But no. And now I'm like, I don't care if we get occasionally one wrong. These people have to go. And I'm tired of absolute derelicts being in our society. Not only am I tired of them being there, I'm tired of paying for them to like go to the gym and work out and have internet access. No, you have to go.
I mean, if you look into it, all of the appeals and all of the cost that goes into actually killing someone.
That's why we should do it right away.
I think that's a terrible idea. I think absolutely we should not be taking people's lives. I think the government should not be taking people's lives.
I used to feel that way because I like wanted to be like consistent, but no.
Oh, it's not about consistent.
If somebody like did something heinous to my child and they didn't,
but that's why victims aren't in charge of penalties and punishment.
Put yourself in every parent's shoes.
That's why we need law. It's not about being in parents' shoes. No. That's why we need law.
Those people, that's justice. That is justice. Get rid of them. Put these pedophiles.
I don't think vengeance.
I can't say it on here, but
yeah.
Please don't say it on here.
You know.
So I actually, I mean, generally I'm against the death penalty, not because there are not people that deserve it, but because I don't trust the government.
That's a
and they get things wrong.
I don't trust them to do my taxes.
Yeah.
I hate that. Like, I'll do my
That's-
taxes, and then they'll be like, "You screwed up," and it's like, "No, you screwed up."
There has to be overwhelming
shocking
evidence in those
percentage
cases.
of people on death row that end up getting exonerated.
And that, but that was because they've been sitting there for 30 years before they had like DNA evidence and things like that.
It is more
Now-
likely that nowadays they're going to get it right.
Correct.
Because of things like DNA evidence and because of cameras everywhere and stuff. So again, I'm not against it in principle, as in like, oh, like Libby, you mentioned your religious faith is why, and I don't have any problem like that. It's just that I don't think the government is good at things and stuff. So generally, I kind of think that it might be a bad idea, but. You know, I do understand what you're saying about making a martyr out of him. Is that a good reason to not do things, though? So put him in jail forever? Is he less of a martyr because of that? They already lionize him. They already have the candles, the Luigi Mangione candles, because they're absolute psychopaths. Yeah, which is, I mean, it's vile.
So disrespectful, first of all, to the Catholic faith.
The finger goes up and everything.
It's so disrespectful. Put the candles away. I hate when they do that. They do that for every liberal politician too. Have you ever been to one of those bookstores and you see like the
God.
wall? You know,
Because they're mocking God.
disgusting.
But-
Anyways, yeah,
They should go to.
I think it's fair to say that, you know,
They're already saying I'm crazy in the chat and I'm drunk. I'm like, no, this is just me, guys.
No, she's not had a drop.
Yeah,
Chad.
like that's just
That
me,
is her.
guys.
yeah, for principled reasons, I'm against the death penalty. But also, even in this case, even though we know that he's probably allegedly guilty, I think it's a horrible idea.
You're just gonna go and shoot somebody in the back, and then you just get to kind of like chill in prison.
Yeah, he's
for a
gonna
while?
collect those love letters for the rest of his
Right.
life. But
and feel great
know,
about himself.
hopefully, God sorts him out. You know.
God can sort him out at judgment time at the pearly gates.
Yeah.
Phil, why are you laughing at me?
Why do you think I'm laughing?
I don't know why that's such
You're
like
hilarious.
a crazy position. Like I think that these people deserve like that you have to be removed from society.
No,
And
no, I totally understand, and I agree with you. I think they should be put in jail. I definitely think they should be put in jail forever. And that's what we do with people generally. Putting people in jail. We take young, violent men, that tend to be too violent to be in society, and we put them in jail until they're not young and violent anymore.
And jail is pretty bad.
What do you guys think of this proposition of sending American citizen criminals to El Salvadoran prisons?
I'm not into that.
I'm totally opposed.
Yeah,
I also
I
don't
100%
think.
bad
I also
plan.
don't think that that's what his plan is. Like it's part of like a scaring deterrent factor, and everybody keeps saying things like when it comes to Trump about like, oh, is he really going to do this or that? Or I forget what it was the other day. I think it was Poso put up a thing like, should we go to a war with Iran? Like, no, clearly we shouldn't, but we shouldn't tell the whole world we don't support him in doing that. He has to have it as leverage, right? And so if he's going to scare the crap out of everybody and say, get your act together, and if you hit somebody over the head with a baseball bat, we might send you to the gulag, then let them think that, and let's like have some deterrent mechanism there.
So I
You don't have to actually send them.
I don't have a problem. I don't
Just threaten to send.
I don't like the idea of sending them to El Salvador. I don't have a problem with Gitmo. Genuinely, I don't have a problem with Guantanamo Bay. And I also don't have a problem with building another supermax like the one they got in Colorado. You know, turn a mountain into a prison. You know, dig a hole in it and stuff them under the mountain. I'm fine with that. You know, because there are people that can't be in society the way that the rest of us can. They're just too violent, or they're not able, you know, they can't function in society, and they decide, you know, of their own volition to behave in ways that are just unacceptable. And so you can't be in society. You can't be in society. It's not a problem for me.
Did you ever read The Penal Colony? You know that Kafka story?
No.
So the penal colony, the idea is that everybody gets, every bad guy gets sent to the penal colony, and then they're put basically on a spit, right? Where they're like suspended, and their crime is tattooed on their body as they are slowly turned on the spit.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's an execution device, really, but like you're tattooed to death with your crime to death.
Death by tattoo.
Death by, tattoo in the penal colony.
I think if we brought back a little more drastic punishments with a little more with
I see. When you came in today, you're like, I don't have anything to say. I don't really have opinions.
I really
I'm like,
don't.
BS. You're going to be all over the mic tonight.
I just think that like if you have a little more drastic punishments and a little bit more it's done expediently, I think that the reason that it's not like capital punishment isn't deterrent is because like you don't see the result of it soon with all the appeals and things like that. I think it would be more of a deterrent. Like, look at Singapore. We're chopping off hands, right? Like
For chewing gum.
Right. Okay, cool. But their place is clean and there's not as many, mass murders and kids shooting each other all the time. I mean,
But there's
they're
no
free.
freedom of speech. I mean, the risk of freedom is that you give up your safety, and I think
Speech is different than
but it's all of it.
committing crime.
But it's all of it. Like I remember this talk I heard with Camille Paglia, and she was talking about how when she was in college, she was at a women's college. I think she was at Ratcliffe, right? Because she's a super genius. So she was at Ratcliffe, and the women's dorms had curfews, and they had to be back in the dorm by some early time, and the boys could stay out all night. So the women were pissed, and they were like, "Hey, that's not fair." And the school was like, "Well, we're just doing this for your protection." Mm-hmm. And she said, "I have the right to go out and have something terrible happen to me because I would rather have my freedom than your protection and limits on my freedom." And that's what America is, right? We have our freedoms.
I don't feel that way. I think that men and women are wildly different and that women should be treated differently and women should have more restrictions on them than men.
Oh, I totally
My daughter's not allowed to go to college.
Like, your daughter's not allowed to go to college?
I'm not encouraging her to go to college. No, why? So I can spend $200,000 to let her go get drunk and be a pegboard? No, she's not going.
That's not
I
the
think
only way
any
to do
woman
college.
you raise will know better.
She better.
Yeah.
But like,
You got a
no,
strong mama,
I definitely
so.
think that women should be a little. Like here I am talking, right? But whatever. That's kind of how my life fell into things. But I really do think that like women do need a little protection, and we should kind of, we should put those boundaries in place a little bit more than we have now, because look at what it's gotten us. Well, women are a disgusting
There's
mess.
parents being strict, and then there's women not having equality under the law, and those are two very different things.
I don't know if I like total equality under the law.
And I think women should have freedom, but we should also understand what the risks are and be really realistic.
Like our
about
boys have
risks.
freedom;
So-
they know what the risks are, and some of them go off.
But
and,
society doesn't
and
want
kill
that,
people.
Libby. Libby, society doesn't want that, and it's not. You can't deny the fact that like society has said that women are going to be enfranchised. They're going to have the ultimate liberty that men have,
Right.
but at the same time, they want special treatment, and that's
I
something
don't
that
see a lot of what special treatment.
He's right.
there's
special
there's
treatment? Like
there's
for-
well,
for
first of all,
pregnancy?
things like the draft and stuff like that. So they're not
please don't draft.
capable of serving in the military the way that men are, right? So they can't.
And they're a distraction.
My son's friend, who's a girl, they have like a whole group chat. And she was pissed today when she found out that she would not be permitted to register for the draft. She was very angry about it.
Really?
Feminism
More power to this girl.
pouring into people's brains. There's so many covert. My mom's. I love you, mom. But like even like there's certain things like have your own bank account. Do this. You can be in the draft. You can no. You're women. Go have babies. Go do what God wanted you to do. Go take care of it.
But that's
nurture people.
That's not for everybody. I mean, it doesn't have
It's
to
not
be
for everybody. It used to be for the majority of women until feminism poisoned everybody's brains, and then everybody feels like they have to work, they have to achieve something, that they have to show whatever. I was felt into that.
So feminism has sold society a lie that you can be a CEO and you can be a mom of 4 and you can do them both
And you can't
equally
do-
and you can do them both at
But
the same time.
you can work and have kids. One thing I wish we would do is teach women how to find careers where you can do both. Like what I do for work, I can totally do. And
No, they all want they want to be Iron
I don't
Man
want to be
as well as
I don't want to be Iron Man.
No,
I chose my path. I chose not to be the CEO girl boss. And a lot of women are finding out that's not for them.
Yeah, that's
also I think a lot of women underestimate how fulfilling work can be when you're choosing your path and it fits into your life.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.